Okay, I already did this before, but I feel like I gotta talk about it again. Blackish. Blackish, the show by Kenya Barris. I have to say, it's a really good show. Again, I do like it. I don't have any problems with it. However, I still can't get over the fact that they let Chris Brown be on there. I think I did already talk about Chris Brown once, but I didn't specify that this was kind of one of the things that incited me to talk about it. And, oh my goodness, okay. I don't... Why? Why do people keep giving Chris Brown a platform? I keep looking, and every now and then on YouTube, he's got millions of views on a new song, or a song that's featuring him has a ton of hits, and I just don't get it. And oh my goodness, if you don't know what Blackish is, it is a show centered around a black family, and I love it. I love it so much. It's funny, it's comedic, it has like those light things of like just a general family. Anyways, like it's very homely, it's very nice, it represents a domestic household, just great, like a nuclear family. Normally, it's nice, it's great. And I love it because it does have, like as a minority, I love it just in the case that it has a sense of representation, and it also does tackle topics about like discrimination and inequalities and stuff, but this is more centered around like black and white people specifically, so it's not like all the same. I know there's differences in that, but it's still nice knowing that there is some representation out there, and that there is things that, like these topics are being talked about to some degree. And since this show has been successful, it's on ABC, and it has like 6 seasons, I think, it's successful enough, and that's assuring to me. Just the fact that it is successful and it's still running, that's a really good sign. But in a show that understands modern culture, that understands like what's hip, and talks about like pop culture, like shows like just recently they had a Halloween episode, spoilers, but they like did a whole costume based off the movie Us by Jordan Peele. And so it's very modern, it's woke, and in being woke, I think it is just a great folly to me how they actually still put freaking Chris Brown in an episode. Look, I don't know if I don't remember the episode too well. I don't remember if it actually served a purpose, but Chris Brown was in it. And that was my immediate problem with it. I don't care that the episode could have gone without having Chris Brown in it, right? The episode could have been perfectly fine without Chris Brown in it. It wouldn't have bothered me. I didn't have a problem with it until I saw Chris Brown. Because, okay, like, if this show is modern and progressive, and it is very, I'd say it's liberal, you know? And in being woke, in being culturally and socially aware, you would think that they wouldn't hire Chris Brown. Chris Brown, you know, the guy who physically beat Rihanna, you would think in them being aware of things and being rather politically correct, you would think that they don't freaking hire a person who beat another fellow dark-skinned person. You know, like you would think. I don't know. It's a great show. It is progressive. It is woke. It is very inclusive. It is progressive. It even just recently talked about feminism, and then it made a point about how like people centralize feminism in differences of like white and minorities. And so they were talking about like feminism, and they were like, oh well, actually like minorities get paid less than white women do. And then people were like, and there was this whole debacle on that. And so it tackles a lot of things that do need to be talked about. Like it even talked about the feelings that came after the election when Barack Obama was elected. And then with the current climate of things, they talked about the current climate and how things are different, and how things felt, and the difference and the contrast between Barack Obama's election and this election, and just the things that you see and the things that people are scared about now as minorities. So it's really aware of what's going on in the world. It definitely isn't scared about talking about those things. But that's why I'm like that's why I'm let down. I'm let down because I thought as a show that like this was in like maybe the 3rd season, I want to say, but like they had Chris Brown, on the show, and you would think I was disappointed given that fact. I was disappointed because I loved it. I loved the representation. I loved the progressivism. I loved them talking about things that I really did think needed to be talked about. But then they had him on, and like I still watch the show, I just hate that they had him on. I don't know why they did that. I really don't. I like no one, and no one talks about it. For a show that's like really aware and just politically correct, I guess, you would think that they would talk about it. You would think that they would have said why, or you would think maybe they would issue out an apology, but I guess there wasn't enough backlash for whatever reason. And so no one's done anything. No one said anything. And I don't know why. Like, I don't want to be the bad guy who's offended that Chris Brown was on it, but like, come on. Why isn't anyone else mad? Really, like, why isn't anyone else mad? I don't know. If you haven't watched Blackish, I really do think it's a good show. I really do recommend it. If you are a person who really wants to see differences in interaction and like learn about like colorism and different types of like racism and sexism and just all these things, I really do recommend it. It's a great show. I love it so much. I hate the spin-off Grownish, and I do love the spin-off Mixed Dish. Mixed Dish is really good, and so far every episode has had a really good message. Blackish is just kind of like, it's funny sometimes and it has a message sometimes, but so far Mixed Dish has done like 4 episodes, and every episode has made me feel something really good. All the actors do a wonderful job, and like the youngest girl was from the LOL surprise ads, and I thought that was so cool. I don't know, I don't know, I went crazy about that. But I definitely do recommend watching Blackish. And then if you like it enough, you know, maybe look at Mixed Dish. Grownish really didn't do anything important, but whatever. It went for a while. But I guess that's my topic for now, because I just really don't like how I just, maybe it's just that I hate Chris Brown. I just hate Chris Brown. Like, I don't know. Because I mean, shouldn't I? It's like hating R. Kelly. You should probably hate R. Kelly, and if you don't hate R. Kelly or Chris Brown, that's kind of a bad reflection on you and what you're willing to permit. And I do not permit these things, so I am still upset about these things. They only had him in that one episode. Fortunately, if they would have had him in more or anything, I would have definitely not watched it anymore. But they only had him in that one episode. No one's talked about it. I haven't seen anything about it, so I don't know. But I definitely recommend it. Yeah, go watch it. Tell me if you've heard of it. Honestly, I don't know. I really think it's a good show to watch. I think it's helpful in a way for some people. I think it could be an eye-opener for some people too. So, I don't know. Definitely go check that out.